Hi, it's Claire Taylor and Wayne Johnson from Mouse Training here. Welcome to the preview of our Word Advanced course. In this video we'll be demonstrating two topics from the course. Firstly, Wayne will be showing us how to create an index using a concordance file. And then, I'll be covering how to do cross-references to headings, tables and figures.
The word concordance is a bit of a mouthful, but it's the best way of building an index that includes both entries and sub-entries. Let's take a look. Creating an index for your Word document is a two-step process. Firstly, you'll need to have index entry fields entered into your document text. That's the tricky bit. Then, from those entries, you build the index. And that's the easy bit. Here's the finished index inserted at the end of the document. You'll notice that I have both main entries and sub-entries. For example, I have a main entry for geological period under the letter G, and 3 sub-entries underneath. Also notice the page number reference. Of course, with the dot leader. All this is generated from index entry fields in the text. But it's very difficult to think about the organization of the index entries as you insert them, one by one, into your document. You need to get organized first, before you do the actual index. And this is where the concordance file comes in, because it's a list of the words that you want to have included in your index, and how you want to organize them. Let's scroll up into the body of the document. Click the Show Hide control to reveal the index entry fields. These are the XE fields we can now see. A single main entry, like Sun, is just XE and then Sun. But a sub-entry, like Mercury, is the XE. Then the main entry. In this case Planet. Followed by a colon. Then the sub-entry, Mercury. Of course, when you enter the field you don't have to type in the XE or the colon. But you do have to remember how you want to classify the entries as you go along. And that's very hard.
Wayne, that does sound rather tricky. A guaranteed disaster zone.
Yeah, that's what the concordance file does. It gives you a chance to get organized. Let me clear all this away and show you how I got here. Before I show you the concordance method, I'll show you the manual method. This is what you don't want to do. I want to make an index entry for Red Planet and file it under Planet. So, we select the text and click the References tab, and then the Mark Entry control. As you can see, the main entry is Red Planet and the sub-entry box is empty. I have to copy and paste Red Planet into the lower box, then type in Planet into the top box. Then click the Mark button. You have to have the main entries in your head all the time.
Wayne, you don't want to do that.
Yup. You surely don't. Let's go for it. Firstly, get a list of your index entries typed into another document. Or copy and paste if you're feeling lazy. I've opened a fresh document and split the screen. I'm just scanning through the text and listing out the entries.
Wayne, you could use 2 screens.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll just carry on until I have all my entries done. Back in a mo. Here's my index entries finished. We'll convert this into a table. Select your text. Click the Insert tab, the Table control, and choose Convert Text to Table. Down the end. Yeah, 1 column is fine, and don't worry about any other options. Here's the table. We'll add another column. Click the Layout tab. and the Insert Right control. 2 columns. Now copy and paste the entries in the first column into the second. Right, the first column is the text that we will find in the document. And the second column are the index entries we want to make. Go down the second column and enter the text for the main entry before the subentry. And separate them with a colon. So, I want to mark Mars as planet, the main entry, then a colon, then Mars. The subentry. So, it's planet, colon, Mars. Copy and paste for the other planets. And then continue down the second column to finish off. Here's the finished entries. Don't worry if some of the entries in the second column are blank. The main entry in the first column will still work okay. But remember to adjust the capitalization for the second column entries. And most of them will look like spelling errors. Don't worry about that.
When do we ever worry about spelling errors?
Never. The final job is to save the file. You can give it any name you like. I like to call mine Concordance.
Wayne, that sounds like a small town in New England.
Nearly. There's Concord, state capital of New Hampshire. Hi. We're back in the main document. The hard work is over, and I've closed the concordance file. All we need to do now is build the index. And it's a breeze. I'm at the end of the document, and I've typed in the heading Index. We now have to mark the index entries. Then insert the index. Click the References tab. And then the Insert Index control. Now, spot the Automark button down the bottom. Select your concordance file from the listing and click the Open button. Word now goes through the document and marks all your index entries with XE fields. Great. Now, turn off the fields by clicking Show Hide. Click for your insertion point and we'll create the index. Click the Insert Index control again. And we'll examine our options. Type. Indented or run-in. I'll go for indented. Formats. From template. Classic. Fancy. Modern. Bulleted. Formal. Simple. I'll go for classic. 2 columns is fine for me. Align page numbers to right. Looks good. And set the tab leader, it reads better if you have one. Dots. Dashes. Solid line. I'll go for a dot leader. Click OK. And there's your index.
That really is a lovely index. It's all about those XE fields. And we're going to be seeing a lot more about fields in the next section, where I'll be looking at cross-references. Thanks, Wayne. Cross-references are where you've page number references to different document elements. And, of course, you want them to update automatically when the document changes. It's all done using field codes. We'll also be seeing one of the greatest shortcut keys for Word. Update fields. Wayne, do you know that one?
Yup. It's F9. You gotta know F9.
Here's my document. It contains headings, as you can see from the navigation pane. And, also, a series of figures. And some tables. In my text, I want to make references to these elements. Let's do the first one. At the end of the first paragraph under Mars, I want to refer to the illustration that's near the end of the document. This one. I want the reference to read as follows: see Solar System on page and give the page number below. The references can be done as hyperlinks, which is fine when the document is hot, but that's no good for printed material. Start by typing in the word see. Then, let's get the caption text. Click the References tab and the cross-reference control. The reference type is figure, and the insert reference to is only caption text. For which caption is Figure 5 Solar System. And I think I'll insert a link for this one. Click the Insert button, and you get the text. That was a bit painful to get a wee bit of text. But the point is, once the reference is made, it will update automatically should the caption change. The cross-reference dialog box stays open, but I have to click back onto the document text to change the focus. Let's continue our reference on page. And now we need the page number. Click back to the box and choose Page Number from Insert Reference to. And then Insert. Nearly there. Click back on the document and type in a comma. Then back to the box and choose Above Below. Click Insert. Then click to close. We don't need that box anymore. I think we'd better have a full stop. It's not very exciting, is it? Let's do one more. At the end of the first paragraph for Earth, we want a cross-reference to the heading The Inner and Outer Planets in Our Solar System, and also the page number. Click in the document, type in Refer to. And, again, click the cross-reference control. This time we'll need heading. Then heading text. And choose the heading from the list. Click the Insert button. Back to the document. Type in On Page. And then go and get the page number. Close the box, and we're done. I think we've got the general idea now. Let's see what happens when the document changes. Both those references are to page 13. I'm going to enter a huge amount of text after the next paragraph. Type in the expression =rand. Open brackets, 50. Then close brackets. And press Enter. That gives you 50 paragraphs of random text, in English. Next, we'll have 50 paragraphs of Latin. Type in lorem and 50. Press Enter.
Wow. So that's how you do your Latin homework.
Tee hee hee. Don't tell anyone. Back to Earth. You'll see the reference is still for page 13. Obviously out of date. Let's update our fields. Wayne, are you ready to rock and roll with the great word update combo? What do I do?
CTRL+A to select all. And then F9 to update fields. Awesome.
Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And click the subscribe button below. It doesn't cost you anything. Hope to see you again soon. This video was just a brief preview of a couple of the topics on our Word Advanced course. There's a lot more content on the actual course. Follow the link below if you want to see the full course outline. Do get in touch if you want any help with your Word documents. Maybe you would like to arrange a training course for yourself or for some of your colleagues. You can drop me a line or phone me on the number shown here. And don't forget, we can always tailor any training course to suit your own specific requirements. You might like to see the previews for both our Word Introduction and Word Intermediate courses. Follow the links coming up on the screen. And for now, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me. Bye.